What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Turbo and Toshi today. We're doing a little switcheroo. We're going to talk about Turbo first and then Toshi at the end. Again, Turbo first and then Toshi after. Because Turbo's pumping a good bit today. It's up 20%. So you're taking the lead as far as the pump goes. You're going to take the lead as far as the video goes too. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it, okay? So here we are. It is the 7th day of November. Up 19.7% on the day so far. $0.0022 is the price. 6 hours and 40 minutes left in this day here. Looking like we are at a point where we found support before. Could we be finding resistance here now? It's possible, and maybe we consolidate. We'll look at the short-term stuff. We'll zoom out from there and just see, is this move going to progress higher, or are we at a point now where we do stop and we come back down a little bit? Let's look at that on the 1 hour time frame. So here on the 1 hour, okay, that's a pretty big wick to the upside. It's a nice candle that we have right here, but it is a big wick to the upside. A lot of volume coming in there on the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, 40 minutes left. Let's see how this candle closes. To be fair, you could close this candle above even where the high is now. You could come back down. You really could. It's still early in this 1 hour time frame. I don't even know what that was. It wasn't a stutter. It was like I got stuck on saying still. It was like a long hiss. Anyways, rejecting the overbought zone on the stochastics. Coming down makes me think that you want to come down. The RSI looks bullish. I'm not seeing any signs here that suggest that we're ready to go down. Let's see if we can find other signs maybe in the charts as far as the price action goes. Again, here at right now, prior areas of support to find resistance. Here at the top, that is, relatively prior areas of supports to find resistance. So it is possible to stop right there. If we look at this from a low point or a high point here, to the low point here, we have gone, oh wow, we're just shy of the golden ratio. Wow, just shy of it there. Again, back to what I was saying here on the 1 hour time frame, we really could by the end of this hour be back above that wicking point. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, looking at this here, if we did progress to the golden ratio zone. So what we're probably going to do is we're going to go up to 0.0025 to 0.0026, find resistance there, and then come back down to 0.0023 to 0.0021 to find support. Resistance, support, and then we rally. Then we're having a good time. Then it's time to party, okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if today we were up here at 0.0025 to 0.0026, and then over the weekend we consolidate back down so that next week we can rip and rally. Good. Looks good. That makes sense to me. Just because it makes sense doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen. But looking at the, that's my expectation, though, based off of 10 years of technical analysis. That's worth something at least, right? Stochastics are rejecting the overbought zone. That makes me think, again, you're soon to hit that consolidation phase, but 2 hours, 38 minutes left in this 4 hour time frame. Let's give you some leeway. You can definitely move up higher. The next candle could even move up higher, and then you close it red. We could still maintain this kind of consolidation effort. The RSI is getting overbought right now, and that's nice. It's nice. Let's look at this a little bit more. The last few times that we've been overbought, it hasn't been a long-lived experience. I don't know. It could promote further growth, but again, we're probably at a point soon enough to reject or consolidate, I should say. And the MACD typically, once we do get this to cross above the zero on the 4 hour time 4 hour time frame, for whatever reason, we typically consolidate. So this, looking at the current trajectory, should be tomorrow, Saturday, that we cross above the zero here. The weekend should promote some consolidation. That's all I'm trying to say there, right? So if we move up, here we are at 0.0022 right now. If we move up and when we move up, it will likely not be by much. And if we move down and when we move down, we'll likely find support around the area that we're at now, if not a little bit lower. That should happen over the coming days. Looking at the daily time frame here, stochastics look great. RSI is beat up, and you kind of are at a point to reject, right? Lower highs and all that right here. Hold on, just let me use a straight line. I can't draw at all. Let's see, like this, right? You are a little bit higher, so that's nice to see. But again, by the end of the day, maybe you come down a little bit, and you're finding resistance here. That's possible. It's completely fine if Turbo returns back to like prices that are below 0.02. I don't think you do, but even if you do, it's fine. The MACD is shaping up. You've got some bullish divergence here. You've got bullish divergence on your stochastics, and really the stochastics I think are the shining indicator to look at here, because this kind of look, this kind of behavior typically begets continuation into the overbought zone. So over the coming days and even going into next week, we should be seeing some growth and getting into that overbought zone. And once we get overbought, that's typically when the magic happens, when we do start to really take off. So we'll probably move up going into next week, going up to this lower high kind of area. and then consolidate, and then probably really, really take off once we're in that overbought zone again in the stochastics, and probably with the RSI and a cross above the 0 on the MACD as well. Bullish divergence here, bullish divergence on the stochastics. RSI is looking like it wants to break out of this downtrend, but you're not quite there yet, but you're getting there. Definitely bullish prospects ahead. If we're looking at this on the weekly time frame, and maybe not on the Coinbase chart, but something that has more historical data, we look at this here. I mean, look at that weekly reversal. 2 days, 7 hours left, 6.5 hours left, whatever. That's a nice reversal on this week. And being that it is Friday, we don't typically move too much over the weekend. So I do think you're going to get, even if we pull back a little bit and the week closes red, I don't care. You're still at a very bullish reversal here with this doji candle. Stochastics are your best friend yet again right here. These are suggesting that we have weeks and months of growth to go. Like between now and the end of 2026, we're likely going to be moving our way up to that overbought zone, or maybe we move at a faster pace, whatever. And that's really good to see there. I would definitely expect that we do get some continued consistent readings in the overbought zone. The MACD is bearish. In all fairness, the MACD is bearish, but that's okay. Not a whole lot to go off of there. The weekly RSI is at a point to bounce where we bounced here before. We're bouncing here now at the oversold zone. And again, if we close the week a little bit red, instead of bouncing here, you'll look like you're making a stab into the oversold zone. So that's fine. Close a little bit red. Bounce right off the oversold zone. Or, hell, close it green and then bounce here. It's close is close enough. It's not a big deal. And likely this will send you into the overbought zone, right? Overall, Turbo, you're very bullish. Overall, you are very, very bullish. You're in this large consolidation phase that you've been in since May of 2024. I can't imagine that when you break out, you're going to do anything less than something extraordinary, right? You're probably going to see new all-time highs, if not by the end of November, then certainly at some point by the end of this year. From the current price, new all-time highs would be about a 6x move. And if you're not there, again, if you're not at your new all-time highs, I would expect by the end of November, you're probably somewhere around there, anywhere from 0.085 to about like 1.5 cent by the end of November. Going into the end of the year, we're looking at 1.5 cents to, I mean, hell, man, it could be 3 cents, 4 cents by the end of this year, and certainly looking for more productive moves as the rest of the cycle continues. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if Turbo did see something that was, at a minimum of like 11 to 15 cents by the end of the cycle, but we're really thinking of a 30 to 66 cent price by the end of the cycle for Turbo. So that's Turbo, looking good, looking frisky. Love to see it. Toshi is the next one. Toshi here is also pumping up 7% today. That's nice. Let's not discount that. But again, if we compare notes here, 7% to 21%, that's pretty good for Turbo there. That's nice to see. Zcash is up 32%. We got a lot of bullish things going on today, man. I love it. The Bitcoin dominance too, you guys. I don't know if you know this, but I think Ben Cohen, for once this year, will actually be wrong. For once, it's going to happen, because here, when we broke back above the 60, when we were like at the top here, he was saying, and it's going much, much higher. I wonder if he was just trolling the markets by saying that. He's got a sense of humor, so he could have just been saying that as a joke, but if he is expecting higher prices, the Bitcoin dominance, guys, looks like it's finding resistance here where you found support before, where you found resistance before here. It kind of looks like a bear flag, like you want to come down. And if Bitcoin dominance is coming down, altcoins are going to have a really good time moving up, man. Bitcoin's moving up today, and dominance is still moving down today. These are the signs of alt season, man. They're here. The signs are here. We're starting to see it. It started with Zcash. It started with Dash. Some random altcoins pump. They steal the spotlight. They steal the show, while the rest of the market's just chilling, and then the rest of the market follows. We're seeing the signs. It's literally happening just like it's happened every other time in my 10 years in crypto. It's just this has been the longest stint that we've had without an alt season. Anyways, looking at Toshi here, let's actually look at it on the all-time history, the Toshi 3 chart. We are at the low ends, absolutely, of what is a overall very positive channel to the upside. We take the lows here, we connect the dots. Maybe we could connect the dots like this, something like that, right? We're in this kind of channel, upward sloping channel. We found a lot of resistance at the midline here, a lot of resistance at these green lines here, and support. Right? We're at the base of this channel now. I think that we're getting ready to move up. And again, the thought here, the premise of this thought is that the breakout will happen right around this price here, around 0.000848. Let's just say 3085. When we get a day or a week, specifically a week actually, to close above here, that's when we know that we're going to cut loose. We're going to see new all-time highs. And I'm kind of starting off on an opposite note for Toshi here. We're starting off with the long-term stuff, but that's okay. Toshi, by the end of November, we could be at 0.00175 to 0.0023, if not higher. If not higher. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of November we were at new all-time highs entirely and we were at about a half cent in price. Now, if we're not at a half cent by the end of November, that's fine. It could be December instead, but somewhere between half a cent and 1 cent by the end of the year is what we're looking for Toshi. And then whenever it comes to the end of the cycle, the end of this bull market, I think we're looking at a 12-cent price at the highest to something that is well above 5 cents at a minimum. That's, I guess, 2 cents at a minimum. That might be the minimum expectation, but I think 5.1 cents or higher, 5.1 to 12 cents is likely the ultimate destination for Toshi, and that is, again, a multi-100x potential there. So a lot of potential for Toshi, a lot of potential for Turbo. Let's look at the short-term stuff, and then we'll wrap this video up. Okay, 1 hour time frame. And for the short-term stuff, we can bust out the Coinbase chart again because there's volume there. Nice volume, decent volume, above average, whatever. 1 hour time frame looks good. Stochastics look good, and the MACD looks like it's getting ready to cross above the zero. All positive things. The 4 hour time frame on the MACD, unfortunately, it does look bearish, but that's okay. Sometimes you actually oftentimes look the worst at your low points, right? Stochastics suggests that we're going up higher, and the RSI is breaking out of its downtrend. You're actually forming an uptrend here. You look good. Very severe bullish divergence on the RSI and the stochastics and the MACD. So I do believe we're at a low point here, and I do believe we're going to see some recovery. If we're going to see recovery, let's just take our high here to our low here and see that our 382, which is a very common area to first kind of test as resistance, is up about 22% from here. So 3066 might be the area that we go to, maybe even just above there. Not only that, but it's a prior area for support as well and resistance back here. So we've shown significance there. I wouldn't be surprised if over the coming days we made a move up here. Maybe not over the weekend, maybe, you never know. But probably sometime next week we go up there, consolidate, and then continue to rip and run, okay? Toshi, Turbo, both at phenomenal prices now to buy. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I know this one's up 21%, this one's up 7%. Wouldn't it have been nicer to buy before they pumped? And it is still possible that we could see lower prices. It is still possible that any of these cryptos could see lower prices. We're getting a little bit of life showing in the markets right now, but don't get discouraged. Even if we go lower, we're still at relative areas to find support within this chart. Right down here, we've got these lows. Actually, we actually just found support there. So if we go lower, we're below that low, but still areas of support back here, areas of resistance back here. We can see a slightly lower low and still be fine. We don't want anything dramatic, but I don't even know if we're going to go lower. I think that we found our lows, and I think we're going to bounce from here. So I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Take care of your kids. Bye-bye.